Assalamu alaikum, wonderful viewers. Welcome to the Poetry Slam. So here on Eco TV International, the People's Choice, where we celebrate the power of words, the beauty of expression, and the art of poetry. I'm your host, Roheyatou Touray. Every week we invite talented poets to come and showcase their talent and their art of work. And today with me is one of the unique poets in the Gambia here, and she's one of my favorite poets so far. She will introduce herself shortly, but before that, you can kindly subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more thrilling insights. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, and I am honored to be here today. By the way, I am Dijah, a daughter to Fatima, a slave of Allah, a granddaughter to the first creature Adam, a stubborn race from the Mandi warrior Kunta. This is just a brief introduction of who Dijah is.
As you can see, she's putting fire into it just now. And also, what really inspired you to become a poet?
What inspires me to become a poet or to do poetry, it's because it's a way of expression, expressing how you feel, advocating. But for me, I do it as, let's say, expressing how I feel. Because when you look at my poems, they all talk about life, most of them. So I express how I feel.
And also, we've seen your recent poem just that you've posted, which is about goodbye.
Goodbye, peace.
Okay. What is it all about? What is the inspiration behind it?
All right. I was having a friend back then in Masro.
Okay.
We were not in the same class, but we were so close as sisters. And when we graduated, we went to the same college. So unfortunate, she passed away our first year. We were so close, we sit at the same decks, you know, which was very sad. So I wrote that piece for her, Goodbye Peace. That's where the title comes from, Goodbye Peace.
Okay, my condolences.
Thank you.
Okay. And how did you discover your unique voice as a poet? Was it a gradual process or a sudden realization?
I can say it's a gradual process because I started through public speaking. Yeah, so I would call it a gradual process.
Okay. And also, who are the poets or writers that has really influenced your work?
Right now, I would say IG.
Okay.
Yeah, IG.
Or just IG?
Just IG. So many poets that I followed that are in the country. I make research outside country.
Okay. What does poetry really mean to you, and how has that meaning evolved over time?
Come again.
What does poetry mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It healed my pains. When I say it healed my pains, is because whenever I write, even if I am sad, I feel happy. So that's poetry. It's a beauty of poetry, and it's a beauty of art itself.
Interesting. And can you also walk us through your creative process? Like, how do you go from an idea to a poem?
To a poem.
Yes.
Normally, I do have the idea first and make a research about it before writing. Because when you're writing something, you need to have idea about what you're going to write about. So this is the main reason. I make research or look into it before releasing the piece or before jotting it down.
Okay. And also, have you ever collaborated with any of the artists, either in the Gambia here or outside?
Yes, I collaborated with the artist, Mariama Cham.
Mariama Cham, okay.
Yeah, it's where you have this piece where she said, Santa Geremi Allah Kone, Saibole ke halat new funny, am you may, am you hamle, le pichanti gana. Yeah, that was a collaboration with Mariama Cham.
Okay. Do you have any rituals or habits that help you get into the mood of writing?
Yes, if I'm sad, I write.
Just sad?
Just sad.
What about when you are happy?
If I'm happy, I find it difficult to be in the mood and write.
And then what if you are not sad at all for about maybe a week?
If I'm not sad, normally I keep writing these love pieces, love pieces, love pieces.
Okay.
If I'm sad,
do you think about someone that you love and write the piece of?
No. I think about life itself and write.
Okay, I thought that it is Mister that you think about.
Not really. Yes.
That's what you said. Okay then. What themes or subject do you find yourself returning to, and why do you think they resonate with you?
With me, art.
Art. Okay. And how do you go about it?
When you talk about art, it's something wide. The world is full of art. Anything you do, it deals with art. So as long as you're concerned, it's art.
And also, is there a particular poem of yours that holds a significant meaning to you, and why?
Yes, I have a piece titled "As a Child."
As a child.
Yeah, the upgrade of nature, something like that. It's related to my life story, and I believe when I recite it, it is related to so many as well. I did not record it. I just recite the piece and post it on my media platforms. And everyone was like, Dijah, I feel like you're talking about me.
Okay.
You understand? So that's it.
Okay, can you share with us?
Okay. As a child, it took me so hard to understand what was right and what was wrong. Since birth to the day I know myself, it was all pains. I feel pains to an extent I don't feel it anymore. Swimming in the river of no law, filled with hatred, sorrows, pains, and agony. Could cry in ocean of sea, wouldn't see any sign of sympathy. I hated myself so much, you know. I was young when I wanted to die. What do you know? What do you know about a child that do not feel love and care? What do you know about a society that do not see or feel people's pains? Trust me when I say, pains don't found me, I found pains. Torture don't found me, I found torture. Have you not seen my body full of bruises and marks? It's okay even if it is not okay. It's okay since they don't want to feel my pains. Appreciation? Hell no. You know, I was termed as the baddest of all. Despite all, I still stand firm and flip my fingers for growth till day and say, Alhamdulillah.
That's why you are my favorite. Okay, what is all about this poem that is so intriguing?
Okay, this poem,
okay,
if you listen to it very well, it talks about hardship, it talks about the struggles, it talks about the society as well.
You touch so many aspects.
Yeah, aspects of it.
Okay. And do you draw inspirations from personal experiences, or do you often write from the perspective of others?
Normally, I write through my personal experience. Yeah, most of my pieces is personal experience, and which I know so many as well are going through it.
Okay, and so do you think your poems are creating impact in the society?
Yeah, to me it is.
So how do you deal with critics' comment? Like when you post your video and people comment about it?
I always give them a bravo. You know why? Because their critics is what keeps me going.
Okay.
You can't do work without critics. That is impossible. So those critics is what keep me going. And I always keep telling them, keep criticizing my work. Because the more you criticize, the more I improve. If you don't criticize me, I won't know my fault.
Sure.
So when you criticize me, it's just a plus to my career.
Good. And in your opinion, what role does poetry play in our today's society?
A form of advocacy. Because when you look at it nowadays in the Gambia, we have so many people listening to poetry. So if you want to send a message, it's easy. You can send it through poetry, and in an advocacy sort of.
Okay. Do you believe poetry has the power to bring about social or political change
in the country?
Yes.
Sure it is. It has. Let's say, as of me, my poetry, I don't think I have a piece concerning about politics. If I have, it's only 2 or 3 stanzas where I said, you capturing youths and call them thieves, and the biggest thieves are in their offices with their biggest shoots, driving their fancy cars. See those people? Those people are the ones that deserve the behind bars. The zebra acting dumb playing with our public funds. The elephants greedy for power. No wonder we have survival of the fittest. They made laws and talk about justice. Excuse me, to hell with that. When the rapist is cut free, the drug dealer supposed to rot in jail. Come on, bro, not to be roaming free. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think that's the only piece I have that talk about politics. And if you don't listen to it very well, you won't know what I am referring to.
So for that one, you are talking about the politicians.
Yeah, politicians.
Okay, and I hope they get your message.
Yeah, I hope so, because last time I'm not going to Dijah. Government bi su la tiyee ma ne ko ah dafa neex rek.
Mbaa ngay gën a bind rek.
Waaw dafa neex rek.
Okay. And do you feel that being a woman has influenced your poetic voice or the reception of your work?
Yes, it do. It has influenced it a lot because let me speak in Wolof.
Okay.
Normally, how it impacts is that you avoid the societal issue, bad behaviors when you're in poetry as a woman. Because you'll be like, I have so many people looking up to me. So if I happens to do this, what are the younger ones going to say? You know, so it's really an impact.
Okay. Have you faced any unique challenges as a female poet in the literary world?
Yeah, that was last year before my event, actually at Iboyan Theater. Normally, being a lady, let's say you knocking their doors for a helping hand, they'll be like, if you don't do this for me, you're not getting this. You understand?
Seriously?
So things like that, as a woman, sorry to say it here, but I think people should know about it.
Of course.
So being a woman, I think it's a unique challenge. I'm going to say So as a female, it's hard, or being a woman is hard.
So you also encounter for some situation you know they feel at no they handle it.
Well, you feel bad because you being a public figure, most especially a female poet, you don't go in for such because you're a public figure.
Okay. Who are the particular? Are there any particular female poets who have inspired you?
Yeah, I have poet Malika. Poet Malika. She's not in the country.
Okay.
I have IG. She's actually in the country. You know IG?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about the representation of women in poetry?
I feel so amazing because when they look up to me, they be like, I would do what Dijah is doing, or I would do better than Dijah. I always feel happy about that.
Okay. Do you have any favorite poem of yours?
All my pieces are my favorite.
Oh, but one must be your special one.
Okay.
There is?
Yes, there is.
Please recite it.
All right.
And let's see what's it all about.
Okay. The world is spherical in shape. Geography stayed with no tape is being measured the landscape. Blessings in abundance, nature shade with no castaway, paid farm. The soil is fertile. Drink. The river is given. See, breathe. The oxygen is free. Still we insane. Progress not attained. Every day is a complaint. The truth is chain. We campaign no change. Tell me who here has not complained for rain. Rain of success and grace. Less pain, no stain, blood stain. The evil is on the throne. Look, haze plain, let's shut and gain. Sanity is the plan, hard work is never in vain. Maintain hope and be optimistic. The stage is our domain. Let's sensitize, educate, and advocate for nation building. Poetry is a way. Beginning the pace to spark and free the space. You want an arrow for our face with the pace, but you can't embrace to them. It's a case to me. It's lays, maze, grace, so you can't race to erase the pace I've made. I think you want me to continue?
No, I feel like this one is a piece of like encouraging people to not give up.
To not give up.
Okay. All right. And when you write, do you have a specific audience in mind, or do you write primarily for yourself?
I have audience that I reach out to. Yeah, I do.
Okay. Is it maybe like for the youth, the elderly?
My pieces are for everyone.
Everyone.
Everyone can
None is
listen to
excluded.
them. None is excluded.
Even I.
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel when readers interpret your poems in ways that are different from your own perspective?
That's their thought. You know, my former teacher, Mr. Dabo, he always said, if you can't control humans' urine, who are you to control humans' thoughts? That's their thought, way of thinking. So I don't think I can control that.
Sure. And what do you hope for the readers to take from your poem?
I expect them to learn from it and act, as I say.
Good. And are you working on any new projects or collections that you can tell us about?
Yes, we'll be launching an album, which is going to be at Benjamin
Hall.
Yeah.
This month? Next
June.
month?
June 14.
Okay.
Inshallah, which is basically on voice of the youth and women. And when we talk about voice of the youth and women, Faguma Biden can you understand, is all about advocacy. What is happening in the in our current situation, and we in fact working on a documentary video whereby we go out and call youths, let them talk how they feel.
Okay.
And also women. What are they going through in the country? So this is basically about the project or the album, Voice of the Youth and Women.
Okay. And how do you see your poetry evolving in the future?
I see it motivating so many youths.
Okay. And also from like 5 to 10 years, where do you see yourself?
5 to 10 years? That is too much.
Okay. Okay, but 2 to 3 then.
Are we talking about next year? Yeah, next year.
Bad, boom.
Yeah, boom.
Everything lit.
Everything
Bad, I'm going to sorry, look.
Wow.
Okay, can you please recite one piece for us?
Okay. I write to pronounce apology.
I love this one, the Talking of Love.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I know that one is special for Mr.
Okay, but I will recite it.
Okay.
Hi, handsome.
Yeah, no. Hi, beautiful.
Okay. Hi, beautiful. But you make a boo, no, hi, handsome.
Exactly.
Hi, handsome. Should I call you aside and whisper in your ears, or should I justify and confess to the whole world, man, you're reclano?
Okay.
Should I be the first to vomit out my words, cause my guilt to say this is eating me up, and I can't keep it anymore? Ndax ku fi wax waxi mbageel ku dit man rek lay jappale. From the building block of life, you traced and painted every oracle of my heart to your love. Many geographers authenticated, artists sang, lawyers judged, journalists reported, they all narrated, no human born of a woman will ever love you as I do. For the first day I set my eyes bulb on you, I feel being the best of rest, for I am connected to your chest. I attest I'm not afraid of giving you my heart. I will detest us together. We are stronger. By looking in your eyes, I realize my feelings are not lies. Let me begin with the love of storylines. Express my feelings by using the poetry lines, that even in miles the wise will detect the rise of my love to you. For it's going to be so nice using my melodious voice and express how I feel. You are a choice that bring a rejoice. Let me give you a special name from the letters of alphabet by calling you A, B, C. Hi. Can you please be my AC?
Of course.
Okay.
Mane, como son bung sibiti, suage jahasa sebagai sembong pawi. Legi. Point bi pour kalna exactly.
Point bi. Dama ko bind rek.
That's it. No ne ni man duma nangu lol non. Fo nga wax ma dara.
Dama ko bind rek. Ada ko buga nek borom point bi rek. Mën na la ko jox. Bob na la ko jox. But I
just camera ma xamna koku pare na.
Wa dem ko after interview.
Ni dego. Banada. That piece was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fong na bobu na ko jël ma no ba ko suma
post. Wa ko na ba.
Thank you very much. Also, if you could have a conversation with any poet, living or dead, who would it be?
Living or dead in the country here?
Anywhere in the world.
Come again?
I said, if you could have a conversation.
A conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
With any poet, living or dead, who would it be?
Malika.
Malika.
Yeah, Malika. Poet Malika.
Poet Malika. What is all about this Poet Malika?
She's so unique.
Okay.
She mixed their language, English. She's so unique in what she does.
Okay, so you look up to her.
Yeah. I love that lady.
And what's the most unexpected source of inspiration you've ever had for a poem?
For a poem? It's just the one I wrote recently. The Goodbye piece.
Goodbye. Okay. I love that one too.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite place to write or a place where you feel most inspired?
At the beachside.
Beachside.
Yeah. Okay. When I want to write my pieces, or so many of my pieces, I get them from the beachside.
Okay, and for me too, the first day I saw you was at a beachside, that place, Lemon Creek.
Lemon Creek.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was there. Yeah, I saw you were reciting your poem. So from that day on, I went to YouTube. I see, I saw your video with someone, I forgot the name. I saw your video with someone. I said, okay. So that's where I took interest in you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And also, do you, if you weren't a poet, what other art form or career do you think you would have pursued?
Journalist.
Journalism. Okay.
Journalism.
That would be great. What advice would you give to aspiring poets who are just starting to explore in the field?
To head up always. Let them keep it up. Let them never give up. Let them know that life is all about passion, patience, and perseverance.
And what's the common thing between music and poetry? Because many say that artists, musicians are poets.
Are poets.
Yes.
But then, you know, I would say musicians are poets. But to me, it has different. Not all musicians that are poets. Because I don't think a poet with sensible mind will go out there and be saying rubbish. That isn't possible. We have so many musicians that are not poets. We have so many. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
People like ST, I term them as a spoken word poet because of the message he delivers.
Yeah. Okay.
A poet can be a musician, but not all musicians that can be poets.
Can be poets. That message is clear. I understand. Okay. How can someone who is new to poetry begin to appreciate or understand it better?
Poetry. It's very simple. For me, I believe everyone is a poet.
You just have to work on it, or?
You just have to work on it. It's a God-gift talent. Everyone can be a poet if you want to be a poet. Because you can be like, I want to be a poet and sit down and fold your hands. You have to make research on poetry. You have to get mentors. You have to get someone who will direct you through the path. You understand what I mean?
But now there are so many poets that are, sorry to say that are really disappointing because when they deliver, you say, what is this one saying? And even if you go into a conversation with them, you will definitely know that this one doesn't know what he or she is saying. Yeah, so I think some of them are pursuing it for just fame or maybe for the people to see them. What message do you have for those ones?
Well, I think if they are doing it for just fame, I don't think poetry is just something you should play with. Because it's an advocacy and you're sending a message to the public. And what you need to know that is not only elderly people that are going to listen to your poems, we have youths, upcoming ones that are listening to it. So obviously if you're doing it for fame or if you're doing blunders when it comes to poetry, nobody's going to listen to you. If you're doing it for fame, fame doesn't last.
Sure.
So I think people should start taking it seriously, like a career.
Yeah, and it is just like beauty. With time, it fades.
It fades.
Yeah, but yours will not fade.
It won't fade.
Okay. Are there any contemporary poets or collections you would recommend to your audience?
This piece, Letter to the Next Generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and can you tell us about that piece?
It talks about deforestation.
Okay.
And you know deforestation is rampant. Cutting down of trees, I think we should stop it. It's really bad. It's more affecting the country, it's affecting the environment than, it has more negativity. So I think people should stop deforestation. It's really bad. Climate change, it's really disturbing.
Okay, and also in the industry, is there a competition? And if there is, are you also competing with any?
I think competition should be there.
Okay.
If competition is not there, the game will be nice. But as long as there is competition, I think it will be cool. In fact, it will remove laziness from others. You know, if you want to take, let me refer you back to the question you were asking. People took it for fame. Imagine you want to take poetry for fame, but you see Fatima Kebe doing good. I think you need to compete. You need to compete. I think competition should be there to make the poetry industry more nice. Musaf, right? I'll be like, why is it that poets don't backfire each other? Wow.
Okay. But maybe like financial support from the government or either fan base or the finance.
That's the biggest problem when it comes to financial support, because so many people don't support poetry. Nobody has money for poetry, sir. So they find it hard to support poets. You see poets launching their albums with
zero support.
Zero support. It happens sometimes.
So your misa boppa yade def lepp.
Well, yeah, they def yep. Plus, if you have committee members, they are strong. Yeah, then they def yep.
Okay. Well, time mungero now.
I'm gonna support nekut financially.
Yeah. Nekut finance kese. Yeah. So manager strong, right?
Or manager strong, like, or management team strong. You are good to go.
Yeah. Time mungero now. So very certain you be a piece bunne rek.
There, ban ga buga ma recite.
Bunne hera bo xam de bu duggé ci brain mi daf ko status.
All right, I will ask you a question. What is the funniest thing about betrayal?
The funniest thing about betrayal. Let me think.
All right.
The funniest thing about betrayal. Not to do the same mistake again, for like trusting the person again, the one that
you trust.
Betrayed you.
Okay. But what's the funniest thing about it?
The funniest thing about it, betrayal. Well, I don't think it's funny. Betrayal is not funny to me.
To me, it's funny.
How?
Okay, because the funniest thing about betrayal is it's not from your enemies. It's either from the family, friends, or trusted souls that look at you and smile when deep down they wish to put you in that mortar and pound you with a pestle just to see you down. Their expressions fake. While actions speak louder than voice, they only come around as long as they can depend, which I really understand because they're all parasites.
Yeah.
They tend to help, but deep down, trust me, they don't wish to. Well, I'm not surprised seeing fully grown men rounding about and lying like journalists with no work. What a trash. Okay, yeah.
It is interesting. Like what Nicki Minaj said, is that people will love you and support you only when it's beneficial.
Thank you, when it's beneficial.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is a nice piece, and I hope people can learn from it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is how we've come to the end of the program. Suma cameraman, sorry, dafa buga pour nga recite ko ben love piece.
Ben love piece.
Dem. Te dis suma cameraman kese be crew bi yeb la.
Love piece.
Exactly.
Okay. Let me think. When I say I love you, please believe it's true. When I say forever, promise me you won't cry.
No.
Because the day I will be the day I die.
He's zooming now too. Stop before we done it to my camera. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It is really interesting, lively, and you know, Nagalanda. So thank you very much. I wish to have you again next time.
No problem, inshallah.
Well, and we are looking forward to your concert too.
Concert, okay.
Inshallah. 20th?
On the 14th.
14th of June.
14th of June.
14th of June. ok na ñëpp génn nag ñu dem support ko incha allah programme bi xam naa du nekk lu ndaw te tamit dafa nekk lu lit so thank you very much and everyone bye bye till next week incha allah